Your time's not starting until the water's at a rolling boil though, so it might be a little while. So that's why I'm like, let's get the demonstration going, and then we've got more time to talk about other stuff. So yeah, that's all more there is to that though.
What were you saying about the towel? You said something. Where do you
Yeah,
put
I've
the
seen like just thrown in the bottom of the pot.
If you don't
There's
have a
Is
rack,
there a
if
towel?
you don't have a rack,
So there's a rack in there that when you can, so the jars aren't actually touching the surface of the pot. Yeah. And that's what most canning pots are gonna come with. But like I said, if you just wanna do like 3 jars of jam, you can do it in your stock pot at home and just, I've seen them sell like silicone like trevettes that you can place on the bottom of them too, and those would work too. You just don't have those handles to lift it out, but you're gonna get like, basically, I'd recommend getting a jar grabber because you're gonna burn yourself otherwise. Yeah. So you need something to pick them up out of, obviously, because you can't dump the water first, or else you're gonna break all your jars. So yeah.
So have you ever had a jar? I've had jars crack if they're not similar temperature to what I'm putting in it.
Yeah.
So like sometimes I'll heat them up in the oven, and
That's not a
that
bad
way
idea.
it's like the same temperature as like
Yeah.
a boiling sauce
Yeah.
or whatever.
And that's another way if you're, you're really worried, like, I don't know when I wash these jars last too.
Yeah.
Just sticking them in the oven, like tip them on their side, and put your oven at, is it like 2 or 250? Now I can't remember what I do. And leave them in there for 15 minutes. That's considered sterilized then for your jars too. If that's gonna worry you and you're not gonna trust your food because you don't think your jar was sterilized, that's an easy way to do it. So. Any other questions?
So do you sterilize your lids at all, or do you use those right now?
Usually I just rinse them. The package inserts on those boxes say you don't need to. They used to, but they were made with that rubber seal. Like it was
So
almost
that's where
like
it came
clay.
from, probably.
Like
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I have a
Now
few of them.
there's a brand called 4 Jars that I've recently started using, and that does say on the package that you should heat them prior to using. And so we did like can with a few of those, and I thought, oh well, these didn't seal. And then after the fact, we're like, oh, that's why those were supposed to be heated. The Superb don't need heated before. And most of the jars people buy are the Ball brand, but those lids got really like poor quality, especially during COVID when everybody's trying to really get into doing more of their own food prep and stuff. They just got really chintzy. So the Superb brand is out of Holmes County, Millersburg.
They've been really
Is
good
it?
for us too.
Where?
Where do you buy them? The Walnut Creek.
I'm not sure what.
Azure has them.
Online, Azure has them. If you
brand?
buy any of Azure has their own brands of canning jars now. If you buy any of them and you want them to come with the lids and bands, they're Superb lids. They kind of work together. But I can't say I'm going to be married to any one lid brand either.
Do you ever reuse your lids, or is that a huge no-no?
I mean, that's probably, in the Ball book, that's a no-no. But then there's a whole group of people who, like, I would consider myself like a rebel canner. I like the phrase, my kitchen, my rules. I've never reused them, but I've seen people who have, and you just have to,
So
if you're
no
gonna,
problems. No
Yeah.
problems.
We bought
Yeah.
this little like, I don't even know what to call it, but it pops it off without like puncturing
Yes.
it.
Yeah.
I've heard if you just
So-
take another
yeah.
lid and put it on there, and then use your jar opener to open it, you'll dent the top one and not the one on the jar, so then you can still, if you want to reuse it.
If
I
you-
never
if it's-
have, but
if it's not dented at all, I don't see why not.
Yeah.
But I've had people be like, you can't do
Yeah.
that. It's not going to seal.
I feel like this has just been our routine and we haven't tried it, but we probably should just to see if, it'll work. Because I did like a bulk order with Azure last month for all my, like I said, last year we canned around 1,000 jars of things, and the year before that.
Where do you put
So,
all that?
it's taken up a large spot in my basement. And we moved in March, so moving all that was really fun. Yeah. For a while we moved next to my in-laws, so we were just storing it in their basement. Now I finally have it all under one roof, at least. It's all back in my basement. So.
You can reuse the outer part, right?
Yeah,
Just like-
absolutely.
Just not the lid.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because they're scared, like the seal won't be good anymore. Is
Yeah.
what the worry is.
And
Yeah.
you always have to have like the two. You can't use the ones that are like a normal lid you would get.
Yeah.
on a
No,
jar.
there is some lids that
They do
are
make a
altogether
brand that
one.
they are a reusable lid. They're white. I don't know if they're a plastic material material. I've never tried them. Tatler lids, I think they're called. But those can be reused.
You're just talking about the
multiple
screw-on
times.
ones though, but not ones that you can actually seal, are you?
Yeah, it's the lid, and it's just a normal ring that would go on it.
Oh.
So, yeah, I haven't tried that. They're a lot pricier.
Oh.
But I mean, if you can as much as we do, it's probably a good investment. So,
Okay.
yeah.
So do you need different stuff if you're doing pressure canning?
Yeah,
Like, that's
so-
a whole different.
Yep. So like I said, if you're water bath canning, you can use anything that holds water like this. Just make sure you have something in between your jar and the bottom of the pot so your glass isn't going to get so hot it cracks. But a pressure canner, you want to buy a legit pressure canner because that's the only way to do it. Somebody who was asking about the water level for a pressure
While
canner.
talking about
Yeah.
it, yeah.
So a pressure canner, you're only going to put 2 to 3 inches of water in the bottom. And it's going to create such a high temperature and like steam in there that with the water you don't need it over top the jars. We have 2 of the All-American pressure canners, which like are a lot pricier, but they have less parts on them that can need replaced and whatnot. There's pretty much nothing that would ever need replaced on them, so that's why we kind of chose to go with that. But you can use the Presto ones or whatever you've got, at the local hardware too. I mean, I'm sure they're gonna work just fine.
All American is the
Mhm.
brand. Okay.
Yeah.
'Cause I don't have one, and I'm trying. I don't.
Yeah,
know
but
what-
what's nice is like you can double stack jars in a pressure canner. So you would put another rack on top of the first layer that you have on the bottom of your pot, and you can double stack. So we have the largest All-American canner, and you can do 18 quarts at a time. So like we love home canned beef. I'm like, and canned meat in the store is just expensive to begin with. I'm like, if we can beef for like 5 years, it's gonna pay for itself, doing that. So yeah, we like that about it. Or like we've even done our own beans, which are really cheap to buy in the store, but it's still like, I made them. I know exactly what's in it. So you can do like 32 pints of beans at a time. So it's like you can do a year's worth of beans in an afternoon, which
And
is pretty cool.
beans have to be in a pressure canner.
Yeah, they're low
Okay.
acid too.
Okay.
Yep.
How
Yep.
do you
So-
know? Do you just Google if it's low acid? or
Yeah,
like
pretty
what?
much. So those books in there are really good references. That canner, the All-American canner that I bought, comes with its own book that has all the cooking times for pretty much anything you can think of. If it's anything with a meat in it, it's gonna take 90 minutes to pressure can. So that's pretty easy. So if you do any type of soup or anything that has meat in it, I mean, you can that's a given. It's gonna.
Does that include broth or just the meat?
No, broth is only
40.
20 or 40. It's not as long. It's not near as long because we've done a lot of our own pork broth, chicken, beef. What's the other one? We have turkey. Yeah. So we have a lot of our own broth as well. So
And then like the regular size of pressure canner, more normal size, you can get what, 7 quarts.
7 quarts, but if you would do pints, you can double stack those. So you can do quite a bit. If you're not doing quarts of everything. So yeah.
And you just use this same thing with the pressure cooker.
The burner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we actually have a
It's a little
tripod.
harder to keep the temperature on the smaller one, and yeah, we have
a tripod burner, so like.
It's like
a
an
little bit
outdoor
higher
cook
up,
stove you
so-
can use for camping. It's got 3 burners, but you can really these pots are so wide you can only fit 2 on at a time. But it's nice.
I've seen a couple. I haven't looked at them because I'm sure it's crazy expensive, but it's like in a like similar to an Instapot, but it's like a pressure canner.
The Nesco
I don't
electric
even know.
canners.
Yeah.
I've heard really good things about them too. I just like.
Because I'm like, that seems so convenient,
we
but I'm
we
sure
spent
it's
a small
so
fortune on our All-American canner, so I'm like, I can't add that to the collection.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
pressure cooking just
if you're
really.
doing small batches, that looks like the handy thing with that is, let's say like I made too much chili soup. That happens all the time, You can pressure can a couple pints, just 3 or 4 jars, really quick on that. Just on your kitchen counter, set it and walk away, kind of thing. So that to me, it does look handy if you're like a small batch kind of person.
You can do that in an Instapot, right? You can't do that.
I don't think we really recommend it for pressure canning, but they do make it works similar to an Instapot. That I think it's Nesco is the brand,
Okay.
the electric
I
pressure
just-
cooker.
like
and there's an electric water bath canner too, so you can hit all these buttons and it knows when the water's This
You would
is
do that
this is
instead of
like
eating
$30 to get one of these, and sometimes you can find the whole kit. It comes with the jar grabber and everything. So
I just,
Yeah.
like I said, the pressure cooking is really intimidating. That's why I've never done it.
yeah,
And
it took me a long time. I water bath for years. It wasn't until like 3
Graders,
we would never would have hit 1,000 jars of things without a pressure canner, because that just opens up a whole new world of different things you can safely can. Now, like, how many people here, like, oh, my mom or grandma, they always water bath canned green beans. They just did it for like 3 hours. I'm like, that's great. You can do it that way. If they never got sick, good for them. But it's like, you're going to have like pretty mushy beans. Like, they got cooked for 3 hours, like, you know? So, I don't know. It's just, once you get used to it, just can with a buddy who's done it before, and then you'll get more confident before you know it. I think you'll be
Is there
doing.
expectations on how long you can keep something canned?
So the lids will say how good food is in them, and I think most of them say like 12 to 18 months. The oldest thing I have in my pantry is from like 2021. I wouldn't hesitate to eat it. My neighbor lady gave me pickles that were like from when not that long ago. Joyce gave me those pickles that were from like 2009. I was like, these were canned when I was graduating high school, and they were fine. They tasted fine. I'm like,
I mean, I feel like I've
Yeah.
seen
now
my
you're,
dad have jars
I would
that
think
have
your
really old
nutritional
names on
value,
it.
like with anything, the fresher the better, right? Like nutrition wise. But I mean, if you're like, oh, I don't want to can this because I might have too much of it, they're going to be fine. They're not. I don't think they're going to spoil unless you had a seal failure, which, as many things as I've canned, we still have them from time to time. It just happens. There's, you know, maybe there was a fluke with the lid. I don't know, but we'll still go downstairs in our little pantry in our basement and find things where over time the seal popped off. But you know it's bad. Like the food looks bad, or if the seal is popped, you know, it'll dome up. So you know it's not sealed anymore. Or you lift it and it comes right off. So you know, okay, don't, you know, when in doubt, throw it out with anything. So, yeah.
When people have the cloths underneath it, or like some kind of like wax paper, is that just for looks?
I think it's just like nobody wants to set a hot jar on their counter, and so they throw, like I always throw a towel. I just throw it on a cutting board. It seems like I have some big wooden cutting boards, and I put my jars there to cool.
Are you
So-
talking about on top of the lid?
Yeah, on top
That's
of the
for just
lid.
like fermenting stuff. Like if you're like putting a towel or a
Oh,
cheesecloth over top.
Do you
that's
mean like decorative like fabric
Yeah,
and
yeah,
stuff?
yeah.
That's just for looks.
That's for looks.
This I do a bunch of jams and jellies, and that's like my teacher's gifts at Christmas time. Is here's a little jar of jelly and yeah, gift card kind of thing. So
So it still seals with that on there?
No,
No.
yeah.
Oh,
you're
I
just
was
putting
gonna
it.
say,
you're
okay.
just putting it over top the actual lid itself. To kind of under the ring. Cover it up.
Gotcha. Under the
Sometimes
ring.
they
Gotcha.
get a little.
Wait a minute.
Like I brought
Very
some
English.
excess stuff that we have that I'm like, if anybody wants these, I'll sell them. You know, just to kind of clear out my pantry because I know I'm gonna do like more sauerkraut and pickles and stuff like that. But sometimes they do have a little bit of rust on the top just from being in the canner, but they're fine. Like they're sealed. They're not gonna. So that I think maybe that's why they put a little cute little piece of fabric on top too. It looks cute. I mean, it looks really crafty and stuff.
Is there a reason you can't sauerkraut? Sauerkraut you can just like leave in the fridge.
Yeah. So I make it with a neighbor, and we do like 35 gallons at a time. So if I'm gonna use it for like, there's some like hot dishes we'll make it for, and I'm like, well, you're kind of killing the probiotics.
Yeah.
It's shelf stable that way, basically. Yeah. Because
So
yeah,
just
you can
leave
leave it in the
hot
fridge.
stuff.
I like it way better fresh in the
Yeah.
fridge, but when you're making it in that kind of quantities, so I don't know how many quarts of sauerkraut we did last year, but we did a lot. So it's just like I have to have some of this shelf stable. I don't have room in my fridge for all of this, the
Gotcha.
amount we made. So my kids love it. They just eat it right out of the jar. My 18-month-old was doing that yesterday. I'm like, I guess they're used to that, and they're getting those flavors and tastes at a young age. I mean, they don't turn their nose up to it, so that's always good. And they seem to have a way wider palate than most kids, I would say, because they help us. They see me grow the stuff in our garden. They see me can it, and him help me with it too. So I think they like knowing where all their food comes from too. And I grew up on a farm. I loved playing in the garden and like watching mom can peaches and plums. That's about all she really did growing up. But I'm still like, this is so cool. We have like our own little grocery store in our basement. So, and you do not have to have a big garden to can. Like Swiss Country Market, you can go there and buy bulk anything, pickles and green beans, any farmer's market, like when stuff is in season, or even you can buy pineapple on sale in the grocery store. That's a high acid fruit. You can can that yourself. I mean, you can buy a can of pineapple, so why can't you take a fresh pineapple, chop it up, and you can can it yourself, you know? So it's kind of another way to, you know, save on groceries too. Hey, a bunch of this produce is on sale. I'm gonna take it home and can it. So
That's what I was gonna ask. I was gonna ask if you ever can things that like you don't grow yourself.
yeah,
Is that
oh,
good to keep the
absolutely,
purpose?
absolutely. Yeah, like I don't grow my own beans, so like
Gotcha.
we, you know, kidney beans, black beans. We've done the Great Northern beans because my kids love ham and bean soup. I buy those like bulk on Azure now that we have that option, and then can them up that way. So my favorite, we got a recipe of that food summit, was these ranch beans, and those were really really good too. They're like pinto beans.
Sounds delicious.
Yeah, they're really good. So yeah, we're not boiling yet. That's okay. You know how it is. If you watch it, it won't boil. So any other questions?
So are beans pressure?
Beans
Or
are
no?
pressure. Yeah, yeah, they're low.
What about like peaches?
those? You can water bath.
Okay, so that would be like this.
Hi.
This is considered water bath?
Yep. Yep. So think like sweet fruits and jams and jellies, and then anything pickled, like so anything in some sort of vinegar
Like
solution.
tomatoes, you can water bath, right?
Mhm.
So my husband used to, his family for generations made apple butter all the time. They made it on top of a stove or on a fire.
Yeah.
So they would just like jar
already know
it
your
right off the
question.
fire.
Yeah.
So they never did a water bath on
Yeah.
it or anything.
So that's
he
called,
thinks you don't have to do the water bath.
For any of it.
So he cans salsa and he just puts it in the jar and it seals.
Yeah.
So,
So
he
that's
thinks it's
called-
good.
Open kettle canning, and my family made apple butter the same way. And I'm like, well, I've only ever seen that made. I don't know if it's safe. I mean, that's again considered rebel canning. There's people who can stuff in their dishwasher. There's people who just stick it in their oven at a certain temperature.
Oh my gosh.
I wouldn't recommend any of those, but there's all sorts of crazy canning methods out
Well,
there.
his
But open
salsa-
kettle, like a lot of people have done.
His salsa, I told
Yeah.
the top of it, it will get a little bit brown after so long. And I tried to tell him that's because you didn't water bath it.
Could be.
So we get in this argument
Yeah.
every year.
Yeah. You need a water bath some, and he can open kettle
Yeah.
the
I have-
others
well,
and then
I've been
compare.
just, when
Yeah.
he gets it done, I just do the water bath on it.
Yeah, yeah.
So is it sealy because the salsa was hot enough?
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
Yep. So pickles, like I said, I could have a whole talk on how to get crispy pickles because everybody seems to struggle with that. When you water bath them, they're getting boiled essentially. Like they're not. Anita was talking, do you put zinc in it? I'm like, I guess I have heard of that. I have never tried it to put like a zinc tablet in it and that should keep them crisp. I've heard you can try grape leaves or oak leaves. Ball sells the pickle crisp. I don't even know what the ingredients are in that. So I've tried it in the past and I don't think it makes a difference. But open kettle canning pickles, they're crunchy. Like crunchiest pickles that I've had besides the refrigerator pickles that you just stick in a brine and throw in the fridge for a few days, you know, and let them kind of marry and whatnot. So, but that's probably the best way to get a crunchy pickle if that's what you're after.
So you're
But-
saying not do a water bath, that
Yeah.
they're just, okay.
yeah.
And do
But
they-
I feel like this is like, pickles are a good starter canning thing, and this is primarily how most people will do them. So, but I just experimented with it a little bit this year, and I opened it up a few days later because I just had to try it, and I'm like, oh shoot, this is a huge difference. But I don't think ours end up too mushy. My kids love them. We just can a lot of the big dill spears, and they love having that for a snack. They put steak seasoning on it and snack on that. Yeah, they really like it salty, I guess. So. Yeah.
So even though you can 1,000 jars, you don't always have 1,000 jars on your shelf because you have 5 kids. So
Yeah, pretty much. It's
It's a rotating.
constant. I'm like, if that jar could talk and tell me how many things has been in it, that would be really cool to know, you know. Especially the ones that I got from other people. Oh, are we boiling now? Because it's
Boiling over.
yeah. The only thing is temperature control is a little bit tougher on here, but we should be fine. So just turn it down first. So we can start our 15 minutes.
We always do, my husband, every year whenever I do the water bath, I put the lid on just like you said, you know.
Just finger
And
tight.
then when I take it out and it pops, then the lids are rolled
They're
loose.
loose.
And he's like,
Yeah.
you didn't have these tight enough. And I'm like, Mark, I tell you, every year
Do you-
once it you can actually take your rings
You can
off
just
at
remove
once
it.
and
I don't
sit.
recommend storing them with the rings on because if you are going to have a seal failure, that's how you're going to know that the rings on there can be kind of artificial. I also don't recommend double stacking them if you can help it. If you're running out of space, do what you got to do. Then I'm just like, again, you've got something sitting on it. So how do you really know if you're like? I want to see it get gross and moldy, so I know it's junk. I don't have to question it at all. So.
Yeah.
You're doing such a big temperature in your basement or anything, or just since it's in the basement, it's
Yeah, it's usually cool, and we put it kind of like a mechanical room, so like the lights are off in there. It's like they just recommend putting it in a cool, dark spot since it's obviously clear glass. Light can still get through it, but that's why like your grocery store cans are in a tin that's opaque, so the light can't.
just like if you don't have a basement or
You can put it in your pantry. It's fine. I mean, it's still gonna be good as long as your house is.
We have some in our
got AC
pantry and
on.
they're fine. We
Yeah.
just-
Feels like
I just don't have that much pantry space to have all those jars in my kitchen at one time. So
I don't.
I need like a second, my cantry, you know.
Is there like a temperature threshold that they should go over? Because I mean, I live in Georgia and we leave our like doors open, windows open a lot. So
Yeah,
it's not uncommon for a house to go to 80 sometimes.
yeah, I think they'd be fine as long as they're not getting to the point where they're boiling again, like cooking inside. And I think all your food would be bad if that was the case. So yeah, that's just the best recommendation is a cool, dark place, but. Wherever you store your food normally, you know, your pantry items, I would think is fine. So, yeah. A lot of questions. Good questions. Any others?
I guess with pressure canning, there's always a weight limit. But for this area, it's 10 pounds of pressure. The altitude, depending on where you're at, you might have to do it.
I don't know what it would be in Georgia.
I'm gonna start with water stuff.
Yeah, that's like I said, we did it, and then when I started doing the pressure canner, my sister-in-law came over, and she's done it lots of times. And like when it finally came down to 0 pounds of pressure, we could take the weight off the lid. I was just like, I had like a pot lid in front of me. I'm like, it's gonna flow, it's gonna flow. But it was fine. So then the more you do it, the more confident you get with it. So
Julian's been so, my fiance has been so annoyed that I've been collecting jars and cans for
yeah.
like 2 years. And we keep moving. I keep moving all these empty jars.
And you still haven't
And he's like, why do we need all of these? And
They're
he
way
gets
lighter
so
to
mad.
move if they're empty.
Yeah, and I said, you don't understand, I'm gonna need these one day. And I feel like I've been building up to this moment.
You're gonna do 1,000 jars someday.
Which was funny because he called me this morning and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna go to this canning class. And he was like, don't you know how to can? And I was like, nope. And he's probably thinking, he's like, why do we have all these jars?
Yeah, I'd say that first year that we hit, I don't know where it came from. I was just like, let's do 1,000. Like we're on a roll. I bet we could do 1,000. And he got really into it with me. It's kind of addicting once you start doing it. And I guess if we're gonna have a hobby, it's not a bad one, right? So, yeah. But we did spend a lot of money on jars that year. Or like, our moms had a lot, and it's just them. They didn't need a can for a family of 7 like we do. So obviously they had more jars than what they needed. So I don't even want to know how many of them are theirs right now. But they don't care. They said it's fine. If they need them, they know where to come and get them. So, yeah.
What are your like top things that you go for though in your pantry that you're so glad that you do can? Your top ones.
I probably would say my number 1 is beef. Like,
Beef.
just canned beef.
I-
It's
I
so
wish
good
I
because
knew
you
that.
just all it is beef and salt, and it's such. I don't know. It's his favorite meal.
Like
Throw that over mashed
beef
potatoes.
or
Yeah.
okay.
Just
When I
so
can
when
ground
we've
beef-
gotten like a quarter of beef, you can tell like the butchers, at
Yeah.
least Leaf Meat's like, I just want canning meat, and they'll just throw it in the bag in
Yeah.
hunks, and it's so easy to can too. Once you know how to pressure can, it's just raw packed meat, a little salt.
You don't have to cook it first. You're putting it in raw.
Yeah, and you put it in raw, and it makes its own juices. So you're not adding broth or water or anything to it.
What?
Yeah.
Oh my
You don't
god.
add any liquids?
That's amazing.
I thought you have to put liquids in anything you can.
She said
No.
it all cooks out.
Yeah.
So it's-
Yep.
So do you like stuff it in there?
Yeah, and it cooks down quite a bit, but it's never to the top where I had it when I take it out. But That's probably our number one. What would it be our number two?
I kind of love it.
Yeah.
That seems very useful.
For me, if the show's working, I always get a can of potatoes, a can or 2 quarts of potatoes, a can of beef, and a quart of green beans or
Sweet
pint
corn.
of corn.
Yeah.
The whole meal is ready
Yeah.
in 10 minutes.
Yeah.
So the potatoes, though, they're gonna be what you just diced them up when you did it, but they're
Yeah.
probably gonna be mushy then, right? So what do you just?
So we just kind of mash them up, add our little milk and butter, and we've got like instant mashed potatoes. The taste's a little bit off versus like if I had a fresh potato and I boiled it and everything. I don't know, it's just like it's been cooked longer or something. But it's not bad.
Have you ever actually just made the mashed potatoes first and then canned it as mashed potatoes?
I don't know if you can. Just like squash and pumpkin, for some reason it's recommended to chunk those up versus like if I want to make pumpkin puree, I feel like I read in the book that's a no-no. You should do it in chunks instead because I don't know if it's just with that consistency of that vegetable, if the heat can't penetrate all the way through enough, like,
Okay.
so.
Have you ever done ground beef though? Because I feel like when I
Yeah.
have it, it's mushy.
Yeah.
I don't really like it when it's canned.
I think it has a slight taste, but if I'm gonna can ground beef, we're gonna throw it in like chili soup or tacos,
Yeah,
something that
then
it's
I
gonna
think
get
it's
heavily
fine.
seasoned,
Yeah.
and I'm not gonna notice it. But
Yeah.
that's usually the only way I'm gonna use it for. So we're out of it right now. I kind of miss having that on the shelf for a quick, or like just to go. We just went on vacation last week to go out to eat with 7 kids. It's not cheap. We couldn't even take them to breakfast for under $100. It was nuts. But the one year on vacation, I brought like jars of ground beef and jars of some diced tomatoes and stuff, and I could have like a quick pot of chili, and the kids love that. It's just this year we packed them like I don't want to haul all those jars back home, you know, and have to pack them and worry about them breaking and stuff. So we didn't. But I'm like, it saved us some money, so we just brought frozen ground beef and made it ourselves. We had a really nice Airbnb host though. She had a really good stock pantry, so that was nice.
Have you mastered any ways of like storing all your empty jars? lids, and all that? 'Cause,
It's
like, mine's a
organized.
mess.
It's organized chaos.
Yeah, mine is.
We moved in March, so we still haven't like got our little shelving built in the way we want it and everything.
I'm
So
like, I have
it's a
no idea what
process.
to do with all these empty ones.
Yeah.
Because we got hand-me-downs, which is awesome.
Yeah.
Jars, but
Good thing is they're empty. You can store them in your garage or anywhere. Like
We have
doesn't
very
matter.
pretty limited space.
Yeah.
Like I don't know what to do with all. There's just like a bin.
Yeah.
Store Michelle's. Like, I need to figure out. And like all of our lids, they get rusty so fast. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know if there's a better way to store these or they won't.
Do you leave the rims on the can? Because I've always thought too, if you leave the rims on, they'll rust faster.
Yeah.
Is there a problem if they get rusty? Should you not use them? Or is it just
You
gross?
can continue to use them, but some are not going to twist on if they're really rusty and gross. So, like we have so many rings from buying all those jars that we went through them like a week or two ago and just tossed all the really rusty ones. I don't even know how many hundreds of rings we had. It was a lot. So,
That
I
whole
don't-
box of them.
yeah. Yeah, I don't need to keep them all.
Rings.
So you only need rings for, you can reuse those over and over again, so I only need them for what I'm canning, so. I think the most we've ever done in a day, I don't know, around 100, and that's like when we got, somebody just gave us a ton of free apples and like bushels of apples, so we had like a little applesauce factory in the garage going, and I did a ridiculous amount of applesauce. We did not do any last year for that reason, so we still have tons of applesauce, so. Where's the timer at? I hope you said it, because I didn't.
5 minutes.
Do you have a favorite spaghetti sauce recipe?
The recipe that I've made it with is in that book. I brought along the book, so take a picture of it if you want it, so.
Because we both make spaghetti sauce, and every
No,
year.
it's a spaghetti and meat sauce, so the meat's already
Okay.
in it, and I kinda like that.
Oh.
That's just one less step I have to do is brown the hamburger, so.
Doug just made spaghetti sauce yesterday.
Our kids aren't
It's
huge
actually
spaghetti
pretty good.
kids.
It's
We used to, at least they're from, they don't like spaghetti.
You
So,
have to
Okay.
try it.
yeah.
But that only need to be pressure cooked because it has
Yep,
meat in it.
yep, yeah.
Much better.
If it's just the sauce, you need some water with it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Roughly how much is a pressure cooker? I can't remember. I looked.
I mean, you can find them for around like I think $100 if you do like the Presto, like on Amazon and stuff. The All Americans are expensive, but they're like an heirloom. Like I hope our kids fight over who gets it. Someday. You know?
We're gonna have to have 5 of them.
Yeah, it ought to last.
The
Yeah.
standard all American one, is like $400.
I think so.
Yeah. They're expensive.
The big one, like $750.
We bought them at that Food Independence Summit out in Holmes County, so they had to show special. It was a little bit. Well, and that was a few years. The prices have gone up since we bought ours originally. So I heard I've heard good things about the Denali pressure cookers too. I don't know what those cost though either. I don't think they're as much as I think the All Americans are probably the priciest ones out there. But there's no rubber gasket around there to form a seal on the lid in the pot to replace, and that was kind of like my thing. I'm like, good. I don't want anything that's I'm gonna have to break and replace. Like when I'm in the mood can, I want to be ready to go. I don't want to have to go. Oh, my seal's junk. I've got to go make a pit stop at the store. So, yeah, there's you literally just wipe oil on the rim of the lid in the pot, and that creates the seal. Yeah. So just olive oil too. So I've always got that on hand. So.
What time is it?
Yeah, I don't want to run us over. What time is it?
10:52. We got time.
Oh,